Are you looking to buy or build a shipping container home and you're trying to figure out if it's the right investment for you? Well, in this video, I'm excited to break down my biggest lessons that I've learned after building nearly 200 shipping container homes. We built them from everywhere, from Hawaii all the way to New York and everywhere in between. And in this video, if that is you, I can promise you you're going to walk away with some real answers to questions that you might have. Now, in kicking us off, I want to try and distinguish reality from fantasy when it comes to shipping container home construction. All of us have seen different things online. Maybe it's on Instagram where you see these awesome AI videos where there's like 8 different containers being combined and turned into this awesome 3-story container home. Or maybe you've been shopping on Amazon and you came across some different listings for container homes and you've seen these incredibly low prices. You know, I think one of the biggest mistakes that people can make in their process of exploring whether a container home is right for them is just stumbling into misinformation. So often when we see those kinds of things, we may just assume right away that, hey, it's online and surely it's on Amazon, and surely this all must be real. This must be the actual pricing. And so I want to just break down a couple myths within the area of shipping container homes to ultimately give you the truth and help you be able to make a formidable, proper decision whether a container home is right for you. Now, the very first thing, as I've already kind of noted a little bit here, is pricing. There are a lot of misconceptions about container home pricing, but the reality is the pricing will vary depending on if this is something that you plan to build yourself or if this is something that you're going to be buying from somebody else. Now, the reality is that if you were to zoom out, the cost for a container home is relatively affordable. Like, you're getting a home sometimes for around $50,000, maybe in other instances $100,000, maybe even less. But the reality is you're getting a home, something that has a full bathroom, a full kitchen, a sleeping area, an entry door, windows, HVAC, a water heater. It basically has all the elements that you would have in a home compressed into a smaller space. So one thing you don't want to do is go to container home builders or process when you're thinking about how much it's going to cost you to build your own container home and go strictly by a per square foot price. With larger construction, that can make a lot of sense. But what happens is people will take a per square foot price of a 2,500 square foot home and try to apply it to, say, a 240 square foot container home. And the numbers are not going to equal, right? You may be able to build a very large home for $200 a square foot. And when you go to build your container home or have someone build it, maybe they're going to be at $300 a square foot. The reality is your cost per square foot is higher, not because it's a shipping container home, but because you're condensing everything that is valuable in a traditional home into a much smaller footprint. Now, one of the things that affects pricing about more than anything really is your local regulation. From our experience, a lot of our clients end up being in rural and even off-grid communities when they're exploring shipping container homes. It doesn't mean that we haven't done them in major cities and had to go through that process, but it's a very different path when you're located in a major city and you're trying to get a container home approved. From our experience, when you work in a rural area, the regulations are much lower and getting something built is much more cost effective. However, when you transition into a city, all of a sudden that 20-foot container home that maybe you could have built for or purchased for $50,000 is now something that may cost you close to $100,000 by the time you pull utilities and lay your foundation and go through permitting and submit all of your drawings and get your engineer involved. And then build to your local standard and include your fire sprinkler. So there's a lot of information that I'm kind of throwing at you here, but it's all just to kind of give you a little bit of a broader framework of how pricing works. When you're seeing these Amazon listings and they're saying, hey, you can buy this container home for $20,000. The truth is those are myths. There's no world in which you're going to be able to buy a container home that looks like those images. They're oftentimes stacked and cantilevered and all moderned out with crazy windows, and get those kinds of price points, right? It's just not reality. That is the world of fantasy. Oftentimes when they're selling those, they're oftentimes kits So it's partial product. You still need a bunch of other materials to finish it out. It's not already assembled. And if you are trying to get it permitted, more often than not, you can't. So the most important thing you can do if you're looking to do a container home is to do due diligence on the front end. What this means is try to get a better understanding of what it's really going to cost you. Really get a better understanding of your local building code, your regulation, so that you can properly budget how much it's going to be. And the other area where we see people make a mistake is they don't reach out to their local zoning department to see what they're allowed to put on their property. A lot of times different cities will have regulations around minimum square footage requirements. So for example, I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and here it may be around 900 square foot is your minimum size for a home. So we'll have clients actually come to us that have purchased a piece of property here in Vegas. They say, hey, I want to put a small container home on the property. And in some instances, they're not allowed to because the minimum square footage requirement for a main home is that, right around 1,000 square foot mark. Now, for people that are looking to add ADUs, or you're looking to add a unit in your backyard, more often than not, a container home could be an option. You may just have to navigate a little bit with more of your HOA. But I say all that to say, most common, like I said earlier, people looking to do container homes are those people that are on more rural land, lower regulation, and they're looking to do this is a little bit more set up as a temporary structure versus something that's permitted and getting approved plans and all of that. Now, another aspect that you want to navigate in considering your building your container home is really the build science side of things. Now, when you're building a container home, there's kind of 3 areas in particular that I think are really important to understand. The first is going to be the structural. Of course, containers are extremely strong. Every day they're loaded with thousands and thousands of pounds of goods, stacked 10 containers high and shipped across the world. So they are very strong. But once you cut into a container for your doors and your windows, you do lose structural integrity. So anytime you're doing a cutout into your container, you do want to properly reinforce it with tube steel. Now that's the most common thing that you can use. Typically it's going to be something like 2 by 2 by an 1/8 inch thick tube steel, and you're going to frame out your windows, frame out your doors with that. Another area we see people make some mistakes is in the areas of installing their windows. I have entire videos on this that you can find on our page about how to properly do structural and how to properly install windows. But in our early years, our first 5 years of business, my biggest repairs were always window leaks. And so eventually we got away from using retrofit windows, we got away from using block frame windows, and we strictly go with fin windows, but we install them from the inside of the container. So I have a whole video breaking that down. You guys can check that out. But one more thing is the insulation. Because this is a metal container, of course it's a conductor of heat, so you want to make sure it's properly insulated. But also, if you're putting this in a cold environment or a humid environment, one of the things that people will talk about is container rain. And it's where moisture can actually build up on the inside of your shipping container. So if you don't use the proper insulation and you don't actually get a vapor barrier developed on that inside of the container, you can actually get moisture behind your walls. Of course, things like that could lead to mold and other issues. So we recommend typically using closed cell spray foam. Once you're at a 3-inch depth with closed cell spray foam, it does create a vapor barrier, which if you're in a cold environment or a humid environment, it's going to help prevent those types of issues. You also are able to add an air exchanger for those of you in a humid environment to transfer air and help get that humidity level lower, given that proper ventilation inside of your container home. Now, one of the topics that we do see a lot of people wrestle with is this idea of, should I DIY this or should I buy this? Now, a little bit about my backstory is I didn't have a construction background when I got started, and I did essentially DIY my first shipping container. Now, my dad had been in construction his whole life, and so he helped to coach me through that process. But all that to say, a container is totally DIY-able. It's something that you can do. I would say the only constraint isn't that you're not able to do it. Really, it just is that whether or not you have the time and maybe some of the resources to be able to do it, and some of the right contacts. I did that for the very first container that I did. There were certain aspects of the container I didn't do. I brought in professionals to do the electrical, to do the welding, to do some of the plumbing. These areas where I just was certainly not an expert in and could use some extra help. I stuck to more so, painting and framing and drywall and flooring and cabinetry and countertops, interior doors, things like that. So containers are very much DIYable. I'd say if you're in an area with high regulation, you're putting it in a major city, that's where doing the DIY option is maybe a little bit out of your league, to be honest. Maybe you take on a scope of it, but if you have already a previous skill set in construction, I think you could totally take it on. Now, on the other side of it is working with a builder. This is a great option if you don't have the time. You want to create a container home, you don't have the time available to you to build it yourself. Frankly, you just may not want to build it yourself. That's where partnering up with someone who specializes in container construction could be a really good option. Some of the benefits of going that route, number one, you're working with an expert. I mentioned, that I built nearly 200 container homes. I can tell you, the quality of my container homes now versus my very first container home, there is a difference because there's a learning curve, just like anything else. And over time, you begin to correct those mistakes that maybe in the early days you were making. And so I would say working with professionals has a lot of benefits. It's off your plate in a lot of ways. You can kind of focus on what you focus on regularly, let them take care of building your container home. I'd say, on the flip side, there is an investment. And with container homes, there's not usually a ton of financing options. So usually the person that's looking to work with a builder does have to come up with the capital more or less out of pocket. There are some personal loans you can help to bridge those gaps. There's the rare occasion where you can get financing, but I'd say 95% of the clients we work with, they have the capital to purchase their container homes. Now, one of the cool things about us, and there's other companies like us that do this as well, but we're very willing to do custom container designs. So while we have our standard models, for those of you that maybe you've really researched the design side of container homes and you want to do something unique, you want to do something different, that's where we're interested in collaborating with you, working with you on your design. Whether it's a home, we'll do stuff that isn't housing as well, from coffee shops to bars to casitas to pool houses. I mean, you name it, gyms, there's all kinds of stuff that you can convert shipping containers into, and we'd love to be involved in all of that. Now, finally, I want to talk about design a little bit. With containers, one of the biggest constraints is really the width and the height. So if you go with a standard height container, it's 8'6" in height. It's for this reason I recommend always going with a high cube container. You're going to get an extra foot of interior ceiling space, which really goes a long ways when we're talking about a smaller space like a container. The cost difference is not that significant, so totally go with a high cube container if you're on the fence, whether you want to go standard height or not. Now, the width is one of those constraints. There's length differences. You can go 20 foot, you can go 40 foot. We've done custom sizes when needed, where we've done 30 foot. But the reality is to do something that's wider than 8 feet just isn't a viable option within the container space. So given that it's a smaller width, and then once you frame it out, you're closer to 7 foot width on the interior, there are some important things that you're going to want to do to make your space feel bigger. And the number one thing that I recommend is adding more doors and windows. The more doors and windows that you can add into your space, the more natural light that you're going to allow in, and the more you're going to open up your space to the outdoors. Now, I would also recommend that a lot of those maybe doors and windows are just ways to access additional exterior living spaces that you're incorporating with your tiny home. So if you're doing a 40-foot container home, maybe you have a main entry door in the middle, but maybe off one of the bedrooms you have another sliding door that goes to the outside. And you can have some nice deck spaces with awnings in both those areas just to try to expand that interior. And finally, really one of my favorite things you can do with the containers in terms of the design side of things is a rooftop deck. Like we mentioned earlier, containers are extremely durable. They're designed to withstand a lot of pressure on the top. And so with that, you can totally add rooftop decks. We've done 20-foot, 40-foot decks, 30-foot decks, whatever size you want to do. There's different ways for how you can build them, and we have entire videos that go over that as well. But definitely think it's worth the addition. It's crazy, but if you're in an area, like say you got a cool desert property, you really want to take advantage of the views, just by getting 10 feet up in the air, all of a sudden the perspective, the views are completely different, and really allows you to enjoy your property. So consider adding a rooftop deck. Now, for those of you that are in that phase, you're trying to figure out, hey, do I DIY or do I buy? I want to share with you a couple ways that we might be able to help you as well. First of all, we have an entire course. Not only do we have a bunch of YouTube videos that are going to teach you how to build your own container home, we have an entire course. We even provide our actual plans to you for our models with material lists, with project schedules, with all kinds of crazy stuff. So if you're a DIYer and you're seriously considering building your own container home, I would encourage you to check it out. I'll link that down below. And then also, if you're looking for a builder, would love to have a conversation with you. I understand we're not the only builder around, but we do service the entire US. So if you're based in the US and you're looking for a creative container home, and you do want to work with someone that's got experience under their belt, we'd love the opportunity to work with you. You can reach out to us directly on our website. I'll include more information below about how to connect with us and some of our past projects. With that, thank you so much for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.